Hi, my name is Akini Biggs.
Hi, I'm Morgan Lee.
Hi, I'm Rennie Toulouse. Welcome to New York City Film Fetish. Today we are reviewing The Five Bloods by Spike Lee.
First in a long time that I've seen a movie pack so much and do it well. There was nothing that I could critique. There were moments I wanted to be like, you know. But can we just say Delroy Lindo, Oscar?
Please,
Can we
Oscar,
say-
Emmy, Golden Globe, give that man all the awards. Please.
I mean, that was just intense. I mean, and it had everything: friendship, politics, family, history.
And this is just what I gathered, just based on the preparations they all made for the trip. It almost feels like they all went there, obviously, not just to find what they were looking for in terms of Norman and the other things, but I feel like they all knew what they needed in their part of the journey to do on this trip. And they knew that, it might not go the way that they were all planning. And so I think the scene that sticks out to me the most, because it's a turning point, is the joy, that moment when they find what they're looking for and they go through that, it is just a visceral period of celebration and joy and laughter and dancing.
Yes.
It's interesting in this film that's so tragic to see people so incredibly happy. So
No, I was going to say, all the elements of racism, but I felt like he intertwined it with a lot of humor, action, and then the relationships themselves, which were so valid throughout.
Yeah, that was a surprise for me at the end to find out that Delroy was responsible for that situation. Okay, I know, I won't say it. I'm not going to say it.
Give it away.
What you think, Morgan? Were you surprised?
I felt like it was hinted at the beginning. I felt like a lot to do going off of the mental health, the stigma addressed with that. There were parts that with the chicken and even with the beginning, with the little boy.
The paranoia?
Yes, the paranoia. And that really, so for me, that was a very strong,
Okay.
So, yeah.
go ahead, I'm
No,
sorry.
you finish. You go.
The thing that I think stuck out to me the most was the fact that, he comes off in the beginning as, the most gruff, the most aggressive, the most, obviously suffering the most, I would say, from the PTSD. You can see it in all of them, but it's so clear in him. And then when he finds his son in the room, I feel like something in him turns in that moment, and you're really trying to determine what this relationship is. But I see the first sign of softness in him is when he brings David to the other man, and he tells him David's going to get a piece, and they threaten to, I think, throw David over.
Right.
And he's like, if you touch my son. And in that moment, he went right from this aggressive, person that's suffering from this PTSD to a very protective father. And so just that struggle within him for these different
Conflict.
Yeah.
Internally.
Yeah, and what it brought up for me, I have a friend who's also Vietnamese and black, and I didn't know about the baby lift operation. They were killing babies who were born by black soldiers and Vietnamese women. So that really, when I saw, I was like, this is a whole thing. Because remember, the mother was like, she's this. I wasn't even able to do that because of, so wow, incredible.
And then what the children went through, the ones that survived, that weren't killed off, the names that they gave them, the way they were taunted in school, the way that society kind of looked down upon them. To have to go through that and have no fault of their own, to be treated that way.
I wanted to say, going off of what y'all were saying, I thought that Spike Lee, as the director, he nuanced the film so well, because you had all these historical recounts of what had actually happened.
Yeah.
You had, thank you.
I saw
all
that
these-
too.
Thank you. I'm sorry. Everybody else looks
Got to
really
take care of the family.
I really liked how they brought into the film the importance of teaching your cultural history and the history of where you came from to the next generations. You know, when Otis is sitting down um, with his friend's son, and he's saying, "Look,"
with David.
and he's going back and he's saying, "Well, you know, Norman took it upon himself to educate us on our history and on social issues
Before it was okay to do so.
Right.
I noticed that.
The whole part about educating the next generation and the people around you, that to me was very big. My mom's a teacher, so I really appreciated that. I felt like I was getting a little bit of a history lesson, and I was gonna get a quiz at the end.
Yeah.
There were so many juicy facts that were just like, oh my God, yes, you know, this impacted this. And it was really disheartening to see 200-300 years later, we're still talking and having issues about the same thing, the injustices, the exploitment. We are still protesting.
Yes.
We're still doing BLM. And it hasn't changed much. All the promises, all the protests. So it makes you wonder, it's like, okay, are we going to still be here 200 years from now, still with the same issues, still fighting the same causes and injustices?